What's up, YouTube? It's Kenny again. Wanted to make a video today to talk about OEG. Before we get started, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a truck driver driving across the country researching and trading stocks, and I will not be held responsible for any moves you make in the stock market. Not ever. I am not your mama. Do your own research. Make your own decisions and live with them, all right? So, obviously, for those of you who keep track of what I've been doing, OEG, Orbital Energy Group, has been like pretty much my largest investment in the stock market. I'm not a man of great means. I'm just a truck driver, but I have 3,000 shares of OEG. Now, OEG, a couple of weeks ago, rebranded, changed their ticker to OIG, and now is Orbital Infrastructure Group instead of Orbital Energy Group, all right? Since that ticker change, stock's gone up 60%. It's still well below my cost basis. I'm way down in the stock, but I'm still confident in it. I'm still holding all of my OIG. It's going to take some getting used to. And I am a big fan of the moves that they're making. So they just announced that they're going to do their earnings call on Thursday, August 11th. That's this Thursday. They're going to release their earnings report before the market opens on Thursday, and the conference call is like 8:30 a.m. So it's going to happen before market opens on Thursday. Not sure if that's Eastern or Central. So look, guys, I'm going to talk about my thesis on this stock, okay? So first of all, a couple of years ago, this company was a completely different company, all right? They were in the electronics business, basically. And they had some natural gas exposure, but really that was also electronics. They had a device that measures something to do with the natural gas wells. And so it was an electronic device, right? And they got rid of the electronics business and held on to the natural gas monitoring system and started completely changing their business model. They started Orbital Solar. They then acquired Gibson Technical Services, which is Orbital Solar builds solar farms. All right, they basically do all of the engineering and construction management and all that stuff for solar farms. Then they acquired Gibson Technical Services, which is a company that engineers and designs and installs fiber optics, 5G lines, and then an engineering service they acquired that complements that. And then they acquired another company that basically drills in really hard to drill places like swamps and rock and stuff like that, places that's really hard. This complements the other aspects of the business, because you can install a solar farm and drill all of your piers and stuff into swamps or into rock. And the same really with Gibson Technical, they can drill poles and stuff like that in hard to drill areas, or they can drill foundations for big transmission lines and stuff like that in these areas. Then the last acquisition, which really kind of completes the trifecta of the company, was Frontline Power, which does electric transmission, like the big transmission towers and transmission equipment for electricity. Okay, so what they've done is they've transformed, and also they got rid of, this last quarter or the quarter before, they finally got rid of the natural gas portion. And it was a smart move on their part because it wasn't doing very well. But what they were able to do was divest themselves from the electronics business completely with the little monitor or whatever it is that they've been doing with the natural gas. But they basically kept the IP or the rights to that device that is used in the natural gas industry. So they still, I believe, are having some type of an income off of it, even though it's not hurting their bottom line anymore. So they've made some really fantastic moves, all right? The OEG from 2 years ago no longer exists, and it was even a different name. I don't remember the name of that company. They changed the name to OEG and became this infrastructure company that, you know, is now able to build and maintain electric transmission lines and engineer and install solar farms, engineer and install 5G, fiber optics. So they are, this new name change to Orbital Infrastructure Group was a fantastic name change because, like Gibson Technical is not necessarily energy, it's fiber optics, internet, 5G. So they're really turning into, they're going to turn into this goddamn infrastructure powerhouse. And we all know that the infrastructure bill passed, and although the economy is all messed up and stuff right now, when things start to smooth out and these infrastructure projects get started, OEG is going to benefit from that. OIG is going to benefit from that, all right? Now, I've been saying for quite some time that we need to be looking for Q1, Q2 of this year, all right? Q1, they had to, so this is something that's worth mentioning, all right? I was not a huge fan of the way they structured the purchase of Frontline Power, okay? They've got some big balloon payment type payments coming. They had to do an offering. They did the first one, and I believe they said in December they've got to make a really big one, all right? So this purchase and the way it was structured kind of seems to me to have slowed down their ramp towards profitability, all right? But in Q1, they showed their first ever profit on EBIT. I believe it was EBIT and not EBITDA. And they said that was going to be the thing that we should watch for, was EBIT, EBITDA, those metrics. And in Q1, they showed positive. They beat on it. And so now Thursday, we're going to get to see, because I believe, if I'm correct and if I remember correctly, they didn't have a big payment to make on the Frontline Power thing in Q2. So I'm looking forward to seeing the results of Q2. Like I say, the stock's already up 60% in the last 2 weeks. And, you know, now we got 3 days until this earnings come out. And something I want to mention is, like, the last earnings happened after market close and I believe it was on a Friday. And I think it's interesting that they've chosen to go on a Thursday before market opens. It might kind of be telling us that we might see some kind of really good earnings report this time. Now, this doesn't mean that we're going to be profitable, you know, necessarily, but I think that we're moving in that direction. And although I think that in Q4 we're going to have this big payment and that could slow things down, I foresee 2023 being a banger year for this stock. I mean, like, the stock right now is trading at a level that is like, puts its market cap below its assets. So the price it's trading for, in my opinion, makes no sense. Do I think the stock's going to $100? No, I don't. But I think it deserves to be in the 10 to 15 range. I think it at least deserves to be in the 8 to 10 range, and should probably be trading there right now with all the moves that have been made by this company. And I have a lot of people always asking me if I'm still holding it and what I think about it. Yes, I'm still holding it. And, you know, if it weren't for the fact that I'm about to blow a whole shitload of money on my teeth, I would be considering averaging down even some more with a couple thousand more shares at this price. But the fact is that I don't have the kind of money to throw at it, and I've already taken a significant risk on it. I've got about over $7,000 in it right now, but I still expect this stock within the next, I know I've been saying this for a while, but because of this Frontline Power acquisition, it's kind of changed things a little bit. I think within the next year, we could really see this stock start running up within the next year and a half, like by the end of next year. And, this is the stock that I feel like I'm going to make a big profit on. Now, don't follow me. Don't do what I'm doing. The stock could fucking get delisted and go to zero. But I don't think so. I've got a lot of like real world experience in, like hanging telephone cable and doing the kind of stuff that Gibson Technical Services does. And I know a lot about solar. And I've also done a lot of research about the future of solar. And I really think that this company is set up to really start making a lot of money off of these solar installations and, the upgrading of the electrical grid as we move toward EVs and stuff, the advent of 5G as we move further into the 5G age. They're set up perfectly to capitalize on it. And, I think it's coming. I think that a lot of people have not caught on to OIG. A lot of people look at the history of the stock and see what it was doing back before they made all these changes and ticker change and business change, which is a completely different business than it was then. And they, it scares bigger investors. But we all should know that when a company goes from being not being profitable to starting to turn a profit, things can happen very quickly. And them changing their name and removing energy and inserting infrastructure, I think was a fantastic move, because now it kind of is more accurate to what they're actually doing. And I also think that it might make investors stop thinking about the natural gas and the electronic stuff that they used to do and start realizing what they actually do now. The company's got a huge backlog of work that they said most of it's going to be done this year and next year. They've got like $500-600 million worth of work lined up, ready to go. They're not about to fail. They've got tons of work, and a lot of the work that they have done in the past, that they have acquired these companies, and these companies have what's called master service agreements, so that when they install a solar farm, when they install a big electrical transmission lines and stuff like that, when they install miles and miles of 5G and fiber optics and stuff, they have a contract to maintain that pays them. It's recurring revenue. So it's not only the money that they get up front to construct these things, but also recurring revenue from maintaining them and having contracts with these companies. Guys, OIG, Orbital Infrastructure Group, still big on it. I'm holding it. I'd like to buy some more shares if I could afford it right now, but I just can't. I feel like I'm going to make a big old bunch of money on this stock in the next year or two. Thanks for watching. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. These are my thoughts on this stock, my thesis on this stock. Go do your own research. Thanks for watching.